Okay, July 30th, 2023, coming back from the gym. I ran the GoPro coming to the gym. Still decide if I'm going to put that one up or not. It started overheating and the GoPro shut off automatically. So I put it on energy saver mode now. And again, like in the last video, if it's up, I was talking about the light, that it doesn't automatically compensate for the light. If there's a setting, you can see when I go this direction, I'm darked out. But when I come here and the light's in the right place, then it's okay. Where the phone cameras correct automatically, automatically. So I don't know if there's a setting or something. I gotta watch more YouTube or, read more online guides. So I'll go ahead and turn this around and do a walkthrough on the way back. So this is my way back from the gym. The gym is over there behind those trees. Next, I'll be making a lot of these videos going to and from the gym. It's usually when I do my recording. So I got my wife a MacBook Air for her birthday, and it has iMovie on there because I know GoPro will chop the videos if the files are too large, just to make it safer. So I figured that one out and everything. Yeah, so in the last video we were talking about the labor shortage here in Ukraine. It's a theme the last few videos. It's just really hard to find people to do things right now. And even if the war was to finish and all the young guys who work in building trades, they're not going to be able to come back. They're probably going to be in the army for a while. And then you had a bunch of guys that were conscripted. Now that's interesting. This whole building just fell down. It's like I say, no 2 days are the same in Ukraine. You got all this sharp metal sticking out and everything. You got kids playing here. Like in Norway, you would have, in Norway they would lock all this down. But yeah, this is our market. So we have a lot of these like informal stores. Yeah, this is another store, water machine. This is a bar, the Dutch Lion. It's like a size of a closet. So that's why I like Ukraine. It's a lot of fun, the bars on the window type of thing, but it's not really that dangerous here. But there is probably like petty crime, but not violent crime. So this is the bakery. This is just one of many. This is like a second-hand clothing shop. Here it looks like they're shutting down though. They're empty. I don't know if they're remodeling or they decided they had enough. A lot of shops come and go here. A lot of people try something out, doesn't work. Life goes on. So the playground here, and a lot of these in Ukraine, so if you saw back there was like a basketball hoop. Basketball is not a thing here. It's I think they would be good at it if they made it a thing. Ukrainians are good boxers, good in gymnastics, good in I think soccer. They're coming up. They're getting better in soccer. It's picking up here. So standard Olympic sports. I imagine they're going to have pretty good marksmen too. And fencing, these combat sports. Yeah, the Ukrainian lady, she won, but the Russian complained that she didn't shake her hand. I really don't get it. They should have. She won. If she didn't want to shake hands, so what? Winner is a winner. I mean, they got to be understanding of the situation here. Russia is like throwing rockets and bombs at daycare centers and old people homes. And they're bombing out apartment buildings. They're not fighting like men. That's for sure. So back to the labor shortage. So as I was talking about in the other video, if it's posted, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pull it out of the camera, or it's going to be so huge that I won't upload or something. I don't know. I'm still, like I said, learning my way on the GoPro. So yeah, it's just been next to impossible to find workers. And I was trying to go through a thought exercise of bringing a few guys from India, like an experienced plumber an experienced electrician, an experienced flooring guy, you know, tiles and ceramics guy, you know, wood floors, you know, all this kind of thing, and then a carpenter, 2 carpenters. So you would have 2 carpenters, flooring, plumber, and electrician, like 5 guys maybe, and then myself would be the foreman, you know, or you know, the, you know, so maybe if you were to scale the business, you'd have to bring 6, like a foreman as well, you know, to oversee everything. But maybe the foreman should be someone local to direct the actions of these guys and make sure the quality is being met. And if the projects were bigger and you started scaling more, these guys would double as laborers, you know. So if the plumber and electrician didn't have work to do, he would be on the job site, you know, just doing labor, assisting the other guys, you know. So these guys aren't so siloed. You know, I was in Chicago and I had a bathroom built in the basement, and one guy did it. He knew plumbing, he knew electricity, he had a gas saw, he cut the floor, put in the sewer, he did it all. He did the sheetrocking, you know, Durarock, the tiling, he built the whole thing, you know. Him and I would help him. I would jump in and I would be like the helper to hold things or just clean up after he was done for the day, so he wouldn't charge me that time. You know, that can save you a good 25%, you know, if you just go and clean up after the construction workers. Like, tell them don't worry about it, you don't need to stay and tidy up, and you do that for them. That actually saves you a lot of money, and you learn a little bit too while you're there assisting, you know. So I was able to start cutting some tiles and learn how the tools work. So I imagine these guys work the same way. So if there's like a plumber and electrician, they're cross-trained. So you'd find like a crew like this and maybe bring 1 crew from India over. I imagine it would be like 50 grand, you know, to go through all of this, to bring 5 guys over, pay them, house them, maybe even more if you do the housing, you know, $50,000 to $75,000. You know, so you'd have to hope you find that much work. But you know, renovations here in Lviv, like high quality renovations, are between $400 and $700 a square meter. So these guys would have to hustle, you know. So if you got like and then, you know, and that includes the materials. So there would have to be some calculations. Maybe that's why it hasn't happened yet. Maybe the margins are just too thin, and you have to take a risk bringing these guys over and that they don't find work, but you got to keep them paid, you know, even if they're not finding work. So, and then they'll start pulling side jobs and things like this on their own. They always do that. It's very hard in the construction business to have it working like an office where people are on salary and showing up 9 to 5 like the construction guys, you know, I've seen in Chicago that were working like this. They're always pulling a side hustle, you know, and then they would call in sick or the projects would get delayed. But when I saw these Indians working in Dubai and everything, in you know, the Pakistanis and Indians in Dubai, they were working in a very disciplined way. They were wearing uniforms. There was a foreman. So I imagine, yeah, they would have to be, you'd have to have the project ready to go, and then you bring them in, you know, maybe, you know, get them, you know, some visa, entrepreneur visas and all this sort of thing, and then, you know, you got to house them somewhere. But I don't want to create a situation in Dubai where you have like 10 guys living in one room because you're just trying so hard to control costs and they don't have a bathroom and they're working 15 hours a day. Then you're becoming as bad as people in Dubai who do this, you know, to squeeze out the margin. So you have to run the calculations at a humane price, and then, you know, they would have to be paid comparable wages like to the locals. But it's anyone's guess what the prices are here. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, in general, the average wage here, like low skilled wage here, is like 8,000 to 10,000 grivna per month, which is like $300, $400 per month. And that's just like for general office work, you know. So I just want to take a sidetrack. This is a project called Globus, and this was started long before Avalon, and it's still, you know, they did a lot of progress on this in the last year, but it was sitting for a while before that, but it's now kind of slowed down again. But again, I think it might be labor shortage, but this is a really nice project actually. And then it's like at the end of the road is this really huge park. It's like that street ski park I had posted. It's like a really nice place. But if this gets done, this is going to be like a, you know, nice headquarters for a big IT company, and then you have a lot of very nice apartments here. But it's not moving. You know, the project is just it starts and stops. It goes in like some sprints or some bursts, and then it just kind of rests for a while. So yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. But yeah, that if I would move anywhere, I would move here. If this thing was ready and done, and I, you know, found a 120 square meter apartment, you know, something on the second floor. One thing in Ukraine, you know, with this current war situation, electricity, don't buy any apartments over the 4th floor. The 3rd floor is probably the highest you should go, because you're going to have to be using the steps. You know, if the electricity goes out, you don't want to be on the 10th floor climbing up and down the steps. And then anyway, elevators in Ukraine, they're always insufficient. You know, they have like you know, 100 apartments in the building. There's only like 1 elevator. Like in America, there would be like 3 elevators. There's always like a elevator. You can get an elevator within a minute in America. In Europe, it's like this too. I think they don't have that many of these like super high-rise buildings, like 9-10 floors. But I think that if they do in Europe, it's like the same here. I remember living in Sweden in some tall building, and yeah, there was always a problem with the elevator, but I was luckily living on the 2nd floor as well. You know, I always like to live on the low floor, you know, and I think that's becoming a thing here now. I was saying this before the war, and now it's becoming a thing that the low floors are actually becoming more desirable, more costly. You can charge extra for your apartment if it's on a low floor. So, and you don't see much of the low floor apartments for sale anymore. You're seeing a lot of 9 and 10 floor apartments for sale. And especially if you have children, oh man, it's you know, and you have to go down 10 flights of stairs with a baby car. You know, you got to be kidding me. You absolutely got to be kidding me. You know, I wouldn't do it. You know, I mean, I would if I, you know, if I had to, I would. But you know, it's just, I had the choice not to buy that high. So yeah. So this is the garage. Restaurant is in the 2nd floor of this building, and then this is a place actually where you get the cars fixed. There's a lot of these car fixing places nearby where I live. So yeah, this mode looks like it's working pretty good. The camera isn't overheating. You know, the last walkthrough things were overheating and everything. So yeah, it's I don't know, I'm just you know, the gym is sometimes takes it out of me. I went a little hard today. You know, I had a pretty tough week at work. It's like a really big project. I'm the only project program manager there. You know, I'm working with 2 companies from India, then my own company. It's like a Ukrainian American company, and then I'm working with the client. So there's like, and within the client, there's they have their customers. So there's like 5 or 6 separate groups of people here, and they all want different things. And this company has not worked in agile, like proper agile before. So it's yeah, here's another thing in Ukraine, alcoholics. You know, just yeah. Yeah, that's a thing here, you know, just like in America. So this is you can buy these rock walls. I've seen these around town. They're done very well. But yeah, the building trades, how are we going to meet this labor shortage? I guess there'll just be invariably some inflation. You know, people will be willing to pay, so they don't have to wait 2 years to get their apartments renovated. So the prices will probably have to go up, and there'll be a lot of opportunity for immigration. As I said, Zelensky even acknowledged that we're 4.5 million people short in the job market here. And if all this money is going to come flowing into Ukraine, if all this money is going to flow in, they're going to need construction workers, and they're not going to be able to pull it from the army. They're going to still need the army to do their thing, you know. So yeah, so yeah. As you can see, we have a very diverse country here in Ukraine. We have all kind of people here. That's a Nigerian guy named Steven here, and we have another Nigerian guy here who's playing professional soccer. You know, it's not like in America. I mean, you know, if you're a minority here in Ukraine, you don't get a complex about it, and everything. Like I said, everyone kind of just keeps to themselves. No one cares. no one makes a big deal. You know, everyone is kind of in their own little bubble here. It's really kind of nice. Like I said, when you go to the gym, nobody's trying to get you to join Amway or join their church or, you know, try out their energy drink or whatever. You know, it's you know, this is the site of the new McDonald's. It's coming here. So yeah, it's a nice walk home. It's a nice walk to and from the gym. See, we have another building going up over there. So yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to join me on this thought exercise for you know, bringing a team from India or a team from Pakistan to do construction trades, you know, interior, starting with interior renovations, you know, and then maybe we could go into like if that gets going, then you start doing the exterior and building structures and getting heavy equipment. But that's like down the road. That's everyone's dream. Most construction companies started out doing just renovations, you know, apartment interior renovations and everything. So yeah, that could be a thing. You know, that could be a thing here. So yeah, we have to look into it. I mean, you have to. There's obviously regulations, and you need to have enough money and marketing up front. I think it would be like a $75,000 experiment. I guess you could start with 3 guys. You know, carpenter. You know, a carpenter and flooring guy, and then a guy who's a plumber, and then you just hire out the electrician here. I don't know what the wait time is for an electrician here in Lviv, but I think they're a bit easier to get because their jobs are more, you know, they just come in like 1 or 2 days at a time, 3 times during your project. So, you know, you carve out all the channels for the wires, and then, you know, they just hook everything up, and, you know, you have a plan where everything is supposed to go. And if they have the right tools, these Hilti, you know, these Hilti pneumatic tools and everything, they can be in and out in a day for the first phase of like laying down the initial wiring. Then they come in during an intermediate phase. I have a YouTube about it, you know, that they pre-wire your jacks, and then they come in, you know, in the finishing phase to put in the lighting elements and put the outlets covers on and what have you. So it's like, really, you don't see them that much. You know, the electrician I had was this guy Igor. He was really good. Now he works for Bosch in Germany. You know, he was also like good in IT, and then he knew how to do wiring and everything as well. So, but you know, the guys like him, he left before the war, and he's like now a, you know, a regular upper middle class German citizen. You know, he speaks really good German also, and you know, he really made a good life for himself over there. He sent me some pictures, you know, on how he built his house. He had a lot. He was also good in plumbing. He was one of these rare people. He could also literally do it all, like to a really good level. Like the guy I had in Chicago, some of the work was shoddy, and you know, I had to call his manager, and his manager had to step in and redo a few things. But yeah, I don't know if we could find such people from India and get them to choose Ukraine over Dubai. You know, tell them that, you know, you can become a citizen here, you can have a lifestyle, you know, make enough money, you might be able to send something home. It's really hard to send the money out here. You know, that's also a problem. So, you know, they're motivated by taking care of their families back in India. But maybe you'll find the odd one that, you know, he's an outcast or something, and he's highly skilled. I mean, we just need to find 3 out of a billion. You know, so if we had 3 guys, maybe it would be a $50,000 experiment. 5 guys would be like 75 grand, you know, to do some of this work. You know, get them housed for a year, and then they'd be on the bench for a while. Maybe if we get lucky, we find a project first and then bring them over. But people are willing to wait here. You know, we could tell them, look, it'll take 3 months to get them through the visa and get them over here and get them situated before they can start work. But at least they'll get a running start. So yeah, here I am. I'm home. Yeah, there's the other guy from Nigeria there. You could go say hello to him. He's a professional soccer player I was telling you about. So yeah, you've seen two black people here in Ukraine today. You know, and for all you people who think this is a white nationalist paradise, it's far from it. You have everybody here. Jews, Indians, blacks, Filipinos. We even have some Chinese. I even saw some Koreans here. They have everybody here. So yeah, how you doing? You know, it's actually quite diverse. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. I think it's only in America people are making a big deal, and in Europe to some degree making a big deal out of it. Here, as long as you're doing your thing and staying out of trouble, nobody's gonna mess with you, and nobody cares. You know, if there's like a, you know, hot white girl going out with a black guy here, really nobody cares. Like I said, everybody is just everybody's into their own thing. Everybody is into their own world here. It's just it's really nice. That's why I like living here. Nobody is bothering you. Nobody it's like in America, I remember, especially when I lived in southern states, you have this neighbors, and you know, they have this like funny way of talking and stuff, and you know, the southerners and everything, and it's like they're passive aggressive language and all this weird, you know, dildo talk like they do. I don't know, they're just you know, it's just weird. But here it's like if people are talking to you, it's genuine, you know, that they have something to say. You know, it's not some BS, you know. And if people here don't like you, you know it. They're not, you know, they just don't talk to you, and they don't have time for you. So you're not wasting time here. You know, things move here pretty good. Just want to show you there's some more apartments there. This R-Room Apartments. That's moving along. That's another really good building company here, is this R-Room. They got it together like Avalon. And I think the owner of that company is also well connected at the very highest levels of politics in this town, like the Avalon guy is. So that's what you have to look for in a building company. But those apartments are all between 40 and 60 square meters. I don't think they have too many. I don't think they have anything that's 100. There's nothing. It's really hard to find 120 square meters here. And if you find it, it's like really expensive now, you know, to get a family-sized place. I mean, I'm in the market for that now. But the only thing I've seen is this place called Avalon Yard, and it requires full renovation. It's not done, and I might have to bring in the guys from India, and I'd be the first client for myself, because that's the only way it's gonna get done at all. You know, I'm waiting around here, like I said, to find a tile guy. It's just next to impossible. But anyway, that's all I got. Thank you. Bye-bye.